What's happening, everybody? I certainly get a lot of questions from all of you, either on YouTube or Instagram mainly, about a lot of different things. And I feel really bad that I can't answer everybody's questions all the time, because I really want to. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to answer 10 of them while I eat my lunch. I'll do one question for every sandwich that I eat. I have 10. Got a whole bag of Arby sandwiches right here. So before I answer the first question, I'm going to eat a sandwich. Alright, one sandwich down. Time to answer the first question. Favorite sport other than powerlifting? I think I'm going to have to go with football. I've always been an avid football fan. I played it growing up and up to like halfway through high school before I kind of lost interest with actually playing it. But I do like to keep up with it and watch it quite a bit. My favorite team is the Dallas Cowboys. Always has been since I was a little kid. And also I just live in Texas, so I feel like wherever you're from, it kind of makes sense to support the team that's closest to you. And more specifically, I like the NFL because it is like the best of the best. So it's like you're watching the highest level of talent, you know, compete with each other. And I know it's maybe not as exciting as college football, which is like the argument a lot of people make, but I like I just like seeing the best talent. I know it's a little more boring, but I can just definitely appreciate the higher level of talent that the NFL has versus college football. All right, well, time to eat my second sandwich now and get on to my second question afterwards. Sandwich number 2, and man, I could have sworn these things like used to be smaller because I was like, I could totally eat 10 of these. And what, you're probably wondering why I'm eating Arby sandwiches. Well, Chick-fil-A was closed because today's Sunday. So here we are, Arby's. I like Arby's a lot though, so especially Arby's sauce. Gotta have the Arby's sauce. These are original roast beef sandwiches. I thought they used to be a lot smaller, but they're not. So. Alright, so there's 2 sandwiches. Now let's move on to the next question. This one's actually from somebody I know. His name is Dawson Wyndham. And he said, how to get girls to like me. Okay, so I can't speak a whole lot on this subject from experience exactly, but, you know, I can at least tell you my observations from what I have seen work for other people. So pretty much, if you want a girl to like you, now let's try to stay maybe within the maybe the fitness community or something like that. This can also be applied to outside the fitness community as well. But if you want a girl to like you, you know, you have to make sure your personality is just not good at all, terrible. Like you definitely need to be a jerk and have no gains at all. But you still go to the gym and act like a douchebag. So like you have to have those 2 things. You know, it has to be no gains and being a douchebag at the gym, and you know, doing stupid stuff like, you know, dropping your 45-pound dumbbells that you're doing for incline press, not like from just the bottom, but like, you know, as soon as you're done pressing them, dropping them from like right here. You got to do stuff like that. You know, just to show everybody, like, you know, kind of what you're all about. You do have to have money though, and usually if you have money, it's it can't be money that you have earned. You know, girls don't really like it when you earn your own money. Actually, some of them do, but maybe if we're sticking around my age group, then I'm gonna say like, you know, which is like, I'm 24, so if we're around, you know, plus or minus 6 years of this age range, or we could just say maybe 18 to 25 for this age range. Girls don't like money that you hard worked and earned for yourself. It has to be inherited from your parents, or given to you by your parents. It can't be earned. The girls aren't into that until you get into your 30s, and then girls are into that money that you worked hard for yourself. So you gotta have money. I feel like I'm missing something else here. That seems to be like what a lot of girls are into, and it's like some kind of science thing, but I don't understand it exactly. But just from my experience around this age group of people, that's what girls are into. So, sandwich number 3. Okay, so that's 3 sandwiches. Now let's get to the third question. How long did it take to bench press 225 for the first time? So I first started bench pressing when I was 12 years old. I had a little weight set in my garage. I had it was like a rack, a bench, a bar and up to 300, and like when you loaded all the weights on the bar, it was 300 pounds altogether, which was way more than enough for me when I was 12 years old. Probably weighing like 65 pounds, not even joking. So I was 12 there, and I didn't bench press 225 until I was 17, weighing around 150 pounds, 55 maybe. So that's how long it took me to bench press 225. Sandwich number 4. So that's 4, so now let's answer the 4th question. And I apologize for the wind, if you can hear it. Any lifetime goals for lifting? That's a good one right there. Now, it's hard to say exactly for sure, because it's one of those things is I just want to get as far as I can go no matter what. With that being said, I would say the big ultimate goal for myself would be to be able to do a 1,000-pound deadlift, maybe even a touch more, so just to have like maybe the heaviest deadlift ever done in a powerlifting meet. That'd be really cool. I would appreciate that a lot. And also have like a big goal for my total. I would like to have 1,000 kilogram total in knee sleeves. I don't even care if I weigh 300 pounds. Okay, well, maybe it would be a little less significant at 300. Obviously, I won't weigh that much if I ever even get that strong, but 1,000 kilo total would be pretty awesome. So that's 2204 pounds for those of you who don't speak kilos. Yeah, so, all right, well, let's get on to sandwich number 5. All right, so that's 5 sandwiches. So we're halfway, and I'm definitely more than halfway full, so I don't know how this is gonna work. Let's see. Question number 5. Okay, why did I start powerlifting? And that's a funny question because it's such a basic one, but I don't think I've ever really gone over that or answered that before. And then the big reason for why I started powerlifting was, like I mentioned earlier, I started doing some of the weightlifting stuff when I was 12. And then, you know, ever since then, I've just been obsessed with like lifting and, oh man, with like lifting and trying to get strong and stuff like that. And I'd even watch like a bunch of videos on YouTube, and that's kind of like what I figured out what powerlifting was, because I see people doing competitions of lifting, you know, weights and stuff, doing particularly the squat, bench press, and deadlift. So I was always really interested in it. And then I remember being, you know, flash forward a couple of years, I was in 8th grade, so about 14 years old. And I heard of there being a powerlifting team once I got to high school. So as soon as I heard about that, I was sold. And I had it made up in my mind that that's what I was going to do, because that just sounded like so much fun. I thought I could be good at it. And yeah, I did okay with it in high school and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much why I started powerlifting in the first place. Okay, sandwich number 6. Oh my god, these are freaking blowing all over the place. Drive me crazy. So I'm trying to eat like somewhat fast because I feel like taking my time is just gonna screw me. So I don't know. I've never done anything like this before. I've actually never even eaten 5. Like, I don't even think I've ever eaten more than 4 of these. So 6 is technically already like a pretty decent PR, but I'm just gonna we'll see. All right, well, that is 6 sandwiches. So now I'm going to answer my 6th question. And I like this one right here. It says, tips on training, or thoughts on training first thing in the morning. I think it can be good, you know, kind of just depending on who you are. Sometimes I feel better training in the mornings. Like, I've hit some of my better numbers, like, in a morning session before. Like, I have hit PRs, like, in the morning. Now, that's not always my favorite time to work out, but, you know, if I kind of get in the routine of doing it, it's really not too bad. And sure, there's maybe some like research that suggests that it does this and this for your metabolism for the rest of the day. but the only thing that I've been able to prove absolutely for sure is that by like start of the day, I mean like we're going really early, right? So usually that for me, that would have been like I get to the gym at like 5 and maybe go to work at 8 or whatever I had going on, 8 or 9, something like that. And if that was the case, the only thing that would really do for me is make me really tired at the end of the day, and it would just kind of change my sleep patterns. I'd just go to bed earlier because I was waking up earlier. But then I really did like it because I felt more energized all day throughout work because I was already kind of like awake, and I felt like kind of fresh because I have a big breakfast when I come home. So working out in the morning and getting the routine of doing that, and doing so before the days that I used to have to go to work. I don't do this right now, but like in high school I did this. Like I'd work out before school, and then I would work out like a couple years after that, like before work and stuff. And it really just made the rest of my day better. So if you can get in the routine of doing it, I think it's like pretty great. Sandwich number 7. Well, guys, there's 7, and we'll see about these other 3. I don't know. All right, so now time for my 7th question, and I'm doing this with my hands, by the way, so that way whenever I'm editing later, I can say, oh, hey, that's where I got to number 7. That's where I can write, because it's kind of just like one continuous shot from here. But yeah, so the question is, I'm trying to throw up. Thoughts on salt for increasing performance and hydration. Now I think this is one that's kind of overlooked by a lot of people, and maybe not common knowledge, because I remember even not too long ago I didn't really know much about like the benefits of it, of just doing simple things like putting salt on my food and drinking stuff that maybe had a little more salt in it, maybe some like broth, or my personal favorite being V8. Like V8 is really good because it has like a lot of sodium and potassium in it, and my body seems to absorb it pretty well. And I like beef and chicken broth as well too. And ever since I started doing more stuff like that, and maybe being a little more conscious about my salt intake, kind of making sure I'm getting a little bit of salt at all my meals, it really helps me hold on to the water that I'm drinking throughout the day. Because if you're just drinking water, like you're gonna deplete yourself, because you're not having like these electrolytes in there as well. So I think sodium being kind of the biggest one for me personally, I can tell a distinct difference in my days, in my workouts, between having like that sodium intake versus not having it, or not paying as close of attention to it. And what I mean by that is, like, usually I like to drink, V8's kind of my go-to, so I'll do 2 or 3 glasses of V8 or chicken or beef broth, throughout the day, and I can tell a huge difference between doing that and not doing that, and with my performance in the gym. So now I'm gonna eat my 8th sandwich. Ugh, this sucks. I was actually pretty hungry when I started this, and now I'm just like, I'm not hungry anymore. After 7, it's just like, I already said I would do it. At this point, I feel like it's like a mind over matter thing. Like I feel like I'll just chew and swallow, like maybe I'll get through it. All right, that's 8 sandwiches. 8. Okay, time for the 8th question. So, and I think this is a good one, and it's also a very common one that a lot of people get, for just no matter who you are. And this person wants to know, boobs or butts? Like, which one do I like better? While the decision is very tough, because how could you not just love both? Like, how could you not have appreciation for both? I'm gonna have to go with boobs. And I'll tell you why. Because you can work for a butt. Like, you can like not be born with one, but then work out really hard, do lots of the right things, and then get some kind of a butt. And that, I can actually speak from experience. I was born with a pancake ass, right? Like, I mean, just straight down. There was no, it might have even gone inwards before my thighs started. Like, before the top of my hamstring started, my glutes probably went inward. That's how flat we're talking here. And I've at least been able to build it up to something. Now, if you're born without boobs, you can get like a boob job, but that's not, I don't really count that the same thing. That's like it's an artificial augmentation. Like, it's and honestly, it's just not as good as the real deal. So, I mean, you have to be born with like a good pair of like boobs, right? But a butt, you can earn that. You can earn a butt. So it's very possible to have both. If you're born without boobs, you can't work to get them. Paying for them is excluded from this argument. That's a whole different thing. But yeah, I hope that's a decent enough answer. That's my honest answer there. All right, now time to eat this 9th sandwich. And this is pretty rough, honestly. Like, I had to just, honestly, I just had to stop, take a break for a second. I took like a quick little walk around the park here just to try to loosen up or something. But, all right, well, let's just get it over with. And now it's worse because it's like cold too, so, because obviously it doesn't take long for a couple sandwiches to cool off. And since I'm outside, the freaking flies are just like everywhere. And then there's gnats. They keep landing on me and biting me, and there's like swarms of them. I mean, I'm happy it's summertime. That's great, and it's been raining and stuff, and that's good, but the bugs are freaking terrible. Alright, well, there's 9. Oh, that's 9 sandwiches, so that means it's time to answer the 9th question. Okay, so it doesn't matter how many times I answer this question. It seems like I just get it more and more and more, no matter how many times like I put this out there. So I'm just gonna answer it again. How tall are you, and what is it like being that tall? So I'll go ahead and just answer both of those because they're kind of the same thing. I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm almost kind of sick of answering that question, but yeah, I get that not everybody sees my answer to like one person, but I get that one a lot. So I'm 6 feet tall, and they say, what is it like being that tall, and do you wish you were a little bit shorter to be maybe better at like stuff like squatting and benching or whatever, you know? And my answer to that is no. Like, I mean, let's say I could squat like 100 pounds more because I was 5'7", 5'8" instead of 6 feet tall, or like even 5'6". Like, no, my answer is absolutely not. I would not want to be any shorter than I am right now, because being taller always seems to be like more of an advantage, not just for lifting, but just life. Like, I mean, I can like reach stuff. I mean, not only am I like decently tall because I'm 6 feet, like that's a little bit above average, but I have like really long arms, so it's like I can reach stuff. I can, I don't know. I'm just happy to not be short. So, does it make my range of motion a little bit longer on a couple of lifts? Yeah, but does it make that much of a difference? I don't know. This is my body, so I've just kind of been training with it my entire life. Like, I've always been kind of lanky, a little bit taller than maybe some of the other guys that I've lifted weights with. So, you know, it's just, and it doesn't really do you any good to like sit there and think, oh, well, if I didn't have this and this and with my body type, then maybe I could do better with like lifting. It's like, no, that doesn't do you any good to do that. Might as well just go do the best you can do with the cards you got. I'm really honestly surprised I've got this far. I don't eat big meals ever, or eat a lot of food in one sitting. Yeah, here we are in the last one, and I'm really surprised I even like kind of got this far at all. But that's it, just this one last little piece. And that's 10. 10th and final question. I did save this one for last because I think it's a pretty good one, and it's something I actually plan to make maybe a video about later on, like a full video. But I just wanted to answer this right quick because this guy was asking. He says, I have my first powerlifting meet tomorrow. Any tips? And okay, I'm not talking about getting ready for your first meet, right? We're talking what you should do if your meet is tomorrow. All right, and let's just assume that you don't have to worry about weight or anything. Maybe you already weighed in today. Well, today's Sunday, and he says he has a meet tomorrow on a Monday, which that's really weird. But I'm just gonna ignore that. Let's say you're already at weight, or maybe you did a 24-hour weigh-in and you got the whole next day or the rest of the day to get ready for your meet tomorrow morning. Well, the best thing you can really do is relax as much as you can, hydrate as much as you can. And then if it's your first meet, like I believe he said it was, he said, or I would tell him, you know, make sure you're familiar with all the rules again. Make sure your openers make sense. Make sure you know you're going to get those openers. Kind of like no matter what. And also make sure they're not too hard either. You know, And like I said, eat as much as you can, drink as much as you can, get as hydrated, rest up as much as you can, stretch, foam roll, you know, do all this and that. Maybe do some hot cold showers, stuff like that. Take a little bit of ibuprofen, and I don't know what else you could do. Like this, the day before the meet, visualize. I mean, think about what you got to do the next day. Get your head together. Sorry, I feel like I'm about to throw up. And just kind of get all the nerves out of the way as much as you can. Just kind of tell yourself it's going to be okay. Like, I've been training for this. At least I hope you have. You know, I've been getting myself ready for like a long time. At least I hope you have. And everything's going to go fine tomorrow. Like, just really visualize what you need to do. And I even like to do things like maybe in my hotel room, because usually I'm out of town when I'm doing a meet. I practice my technique in the hotel room with just body weight. Like, I can pretend like I'm deadlifting. I squat. I don't really bench. I don't really have to practice bench. That one's kind of easy to do. But yeah, I always practice squatting and deadlifting, like, and just put myself up on the platform. As stupid as it seems, like, those kinds of little things help me out quite a bit. As far as other things you could do the day before the meet, like the day before the meet, I don't know. I think that's pretty much going to be it. So appreciate you guys watching my 10 for 10, and give me some more ideas for something else I can do 10 times while I answer 10 questions. We'll see you next time.